Right Pack Radio, a podcast produced by Winding Trails Media for writers by writers.
Writers, agents, and publishers, for the first time since the Gutenberg Press, find themselves lost in a maze of mystery as technology alters the shape of the publishing industry. Searching for Answers is a group of writers throwing pop culture, writing, and publishing into a crucible of clarity, passion, and humor. This group is the Right Pack. This is David Allen Lucas, host for Right Pack Radio and executive producer at Winding Trails Media. Today we're not going to do our normal roundtable discussion about writing and the writing industry. However, we are having a special event. Back in August 2016, Jennifer Stolzer, panelist for Right Pack Radio and also children's author and illustrator, attended a special event for cancer survivors called Wine, Wit, and Lit for Reelin and Healin. This was an event in which many authors, New York Times bestselling authors, and other local authors in St. Louis attended to raise money for breast cancer survivors. What you are about to hear are a series of interviews in which Jennifer Stolzer talks to multiple authors as well as a two-time cancer survivor talking about this great event given in St. Louis. Have a listen, won't you?
I'm here with a two-time breast cancer survivor. Would you mind introducing yourself and telling us a bit about the event and the organization?
Hi, I'm Susan Zeltmann, and I'm at the Wine, Wit, and Lit today here at Patrick's, and they're raising money for the Reelin and Healin organization, and the Reelin and Healin organization sponsors 12 cancer survivors.
All right.
Twice a year, and they take them to a resort where they learn how to fly fish and they learn how to bond with each other, and it's just really a life-changing event. You're with people who have gone through the same experience that you had with having cancer, and it's truly a life-changing event.
So you've been on one of these retreats yourself?
I have, and it was just awesome. They have people that volunteer to take you out fishing, and they feed you these fabulous meals, and you're staying in a nice resort, and it's all about you for the weekend. And the volunteers that do this are just awesome people, and I can't thank them enough.
Were you a fisherman beforehand, or?
I was not, and it certainly led me to love trout fishing, or fly fishing more appropriately.
Fly fishing is intense. You have to stand out in the middle of the lake.
No, it's awesome. It's so relaxing. You don't have to even catch a fish. Just standing out in those streams that are so beautiful. It's so relaxing.
What resort did you go to for the event? Do you remember? It was in Missouri, wasn't it?
It is in Missouri.
Yeah.
It's a private resort. Windridge, I think it's called.
Okay. I'll look it up. If it's not, I'll edit it out. So, how did you find out about? Did they approach you, or?
They sponsor health events where they get people to sign up, and it's by word of mouth and Facebook. It's just social media that they.
That's okay. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's not a movie.
We have a princess with us as well.
Oh, a hungry wine.
Indeed. She wants some wine and dine.
Yes.
She's ready for appetizers.
She wants
So
some
I'm
lit.
anxious to meet some of the authors that are going to be here today. I think there's 7 different ones.
Yeah, there's 6 or 7. I'm excited to meet them myself. Here's one now. Fedora.
Well, hey,
Hi there. We're currently recording.
Already working.
I
right?
am. Hey,
Wonderful.
you show up.
Wonderful.
I've come back. Fedora, I would like you to meet Susan, who is a breast cancer survivor.
Nice to meet
Come
you.
out to support the fundraiser.
Thank you for joining us.
And her daughter and her granddaughter,
Hello there. Nice to meet you.
Jennifer and Lillian. All right. Well, thank you very much.
I think you're a very brave person. No, I'm not very good at it.
She's very brave and also was really timid about being recorded.
Yes.
But she's done a fantastic job. She's been very professional.
Survived cancer 2 times.
She survived cancer twice and also
I can do anything.
Also a short interview with the right pack. It worked out well.
I mean, that kind of thing I think is real bravery. It's not shooting somebody in the street. It's facing up to whatever comes at you.
Indeed.
Thank you.
So yes, props to you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. And any last remarks? Just
Make sure you don't miss it next year.
there we go. That's a good one. All right. Thank you very much. All right, I am here at the Wine and Dine event. Wine, Wit, and Lit. The actual Wit and Lit portion of it.
We hope
With absolute wit. With Susan McBride, who not only is an author here, but she's also co-chair of and is.
I'm like the big cheese.
She's the big cheese. I like that. That's your new official title. All right. So Susan, tell us a bit about this event you've organized. You helped organize, and what it stands for, and just the whole process.
Well, Wine Wit Lit, we started it in 2010. Actually, was the first one. I knew Patty volunteered for. Back then, it was Casting for Recovery, and they took survivors fly fishing, and she was talking about how hard it was to raise money to take the women, and it's very expensive. I know with Reelin and Healin, it's like $8,500 to take 15 women fly fishing for the weekend. I said, I think I can help. I'd love to do something. So I got together with some author friends, and we figured out this event, to do where everybody gets to meet with authors and chat with them, and we have baskets for raffle and silent auctions, and food and some wine, of course. And we did it in 2010 and 2011, and then I got pregnant. And then I was so busy with
You're working on a
baby.
different project.
A completely different project. It's all-consuming project. But this year, Patty had said, could you, help out again? And I owed her, because she helped me out big time when my family was in a hit-and-run accident in January.
Oh, my
She came
goodness.
and picked us up downtown and took us to urgent care and,
Everything?
and checked on us. Yeah, everybody's fine now. It was
Okay,
very
good.
scary.
Yeah.
But I'm happy to do it. I get to see my author friends, and I get to talk about books, and everybody gets to have a good time, and I'm glad to do it.
It's been fantastic so far. I've gotten to talk to so many great authors and breast cancer survivors.
Lovely people, yeah.
Now everyone who's come here today. So tell me a bit about you as an author.
Well, I've been writing like forever, but it took years and years after college till I was published, and I was initially published by a small press in Illinois, the one that published your buddy Fedora.
Yes,
and
Fedora.
And then I signed with HarperCollins to start writing a mystery series, and the debut of that was a book called Blue Blood. That's done very well for me, and I've been with HarperCollins since then, writing 2 different mystery series: the Debutante Dropout mystery series and the River Road mystery series. And I've written 3 women's fiction books for HarperCollins and a memoir about my breast cancer experience. I was diagnosed at 42, and it was a very scary thing to go through. But I've met amazing people like Patty Hummer, who are really inspiring, and it's been an interesting life. I had just met my now husband before I was diagnosed with breast cancer, and it's been a crazy ride. I've never stopped writing throughout the breast cancer and the baby, and I think I have 20-something books in print, which is nuts.
I'm super impressed with that.
Thank you.
So in addition to the memoir, which obviously has a lot to do with your experience, does your experience as a breast cancer survivor find its way into your writing?
I think sometimes, I think just as a person, it's made me, go places emotionally that I hadn't gone before. It's very scary when you hear the words "you have cancer" and your life flashes before your eyes, and you just think, am I going to die? And so I think it makes my writing better. I think every experience I go through, like having a baby, like deepens my writing and my characters.
Is that you call it? Well, thank you very much, and for sparing this brief moment and for organizing this event. And we'll be in touch with you about when the episode airs. And if you ever want to come talk on our podcast, you're always welcome.
Thank you, Jennifer. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. All right, I'm here with our favorite local New York Times bestseller, Angie Fox. Welcome back to the Right Pack.
Hello, glad to be here.
All right. Angie, tell us a little bit about what brought you out here to Wine, Wit, and Lit today, and what you've been up to since we last spoke.
Well, it's a great cause, and plus I love hanging out with book people, especially book people who are raising money for cancer survivors. And as far as what I'm doing, I'm in edits right now for a book called Deader Homes and Gardens.
I like that.
It's Southern Ghost Hunter Mystery Book number 4.
That's exciting. You've been working hard on that series.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when a series takes hold of you, it's a magical thing. I'm real excited about it.
Well, you spoke a little bit about that and about the Accidental Demon Hunter series the last time you were with us, when we were going to talk about Paranormal, but we ended up talking a lot about hybrid publishing.
Yes.
Which I wanted to take a moment to just say thank you for that episode, because you sort of inspired me to just go ahead and self-publish the novel I've been querying.
Oh, no kidding. That's cool.
So Threadcaster is not out yet, but I've hired an editor to go through it for me. And I'm going to try and get it out next year in time to shop it at Comic-Con and Archon and at Gateway Con in June. So thank you. Just a sincere thank you to giving me the confidence to just, go ahead and get that thing published.
It's funny. I mean, I've done big 6 publishers, and now the big 5. And I've done indie publishing, and the actual process, this is going to sound crazy, but I don't think it's that different. I actually have my same cover artist for both. You hire out an editor versus being acquired by an editor, but really the process is the same. So I think it's great that you're taking charge and doing it.
It's I just realized that I could wait for someone else to tell me that the book is good enough, or I could go with what I believe which is that it is definitely worthy of being read, and no one's going to read it unless it's available.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. There goes. And if nothing else, I've got the rights to it, so I can write more.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You can control your pace. You can control your story. And for a lot of people too, it's a great way to work with a dream editor, because a lot of these editors that would be acquiring you are also doing self-pub editing on the side. So you can choose who you work with, which is nice.
Yeah, and I'm sure editors aren't beholden to whichever big 5 they have a contract with. A contract is a contract.
They work. They're 95. It's never 95 when you're an editor, but a lot of them. Whether overtly or on the down low, will do things on the side, and it's great for everybody because they're making good. They're talented people, and they're making some nice money too.
Yeah. All right. Not to get sidetracked again on this episode.
Oh sure.
But tell us a little bit about Wine, Wit, and Lit and what got you involved.
Well, I'm a friend of Susan McBride's, and we met a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. We were both living in the same condo complex in Brentwood. We were both in Brentwood Forest, if anybody's from St. Louis. And we used to walk our dogs. And I was enamored with her because she was a real published author. And I was on I think I'd written my second book that had been rejected everywhere. And so I got to know her, and she was like, "You can do it." And I went through a couple more rejections, but it turns out I could. And once I had a book out, we started doing events and signings together, and had a really good time.
Well, this was a good time here today, and a great turnout too. For people who aren't familiar with your works and your writing process, tell me a little bit about your books. You mentioned that the newest Ghost Hunter book is coming out.
Yeah, I write quirky, a lot of times Southern set paranormal mysteries, sometimes paranormal romance. I have a series about a preschool teacher that finds out she's a demon slayer and has to run off with her grandma's gang of biker witches. Common problem. I document it. And the first book in that series is The Accidental Demon Slayer, and that was actually my first New York Times bestseller back in 2008.
Wow.
Been a while, I know. That was the mass market paperback list. And then I write about a group of MASH surgeons in the Monster MASH series. And then that one's complete. And then I have the new Southern Ghost Hunter mysteries. But there's a dash of romance in that too. And that's the book 4 that I'm completing probably when I get home, but I might not. I might just wait till tomorrow. Be fresh.
Is the demon? You said that your MASH series is done. How does it feel to have a series done? Do you think you'll go back to it?
Kind of sad because it's all complete. No, I can't go back to it. I wrote the arc out before I ever started writing the very first book. I knew exactly what the arc was going to be, and once the series started selling really well, we did talk about, gee, why don't we add more books? Because why not? And I was having fun writing it, and people liked it. But my arc was so tight that basically another book would have been, oh, let's go off on this side adventure while nothing happens within the main story arc. And as a reader, that kind of book drives me insane. I don't like it. I want every book to have a purpose, and I want to really, don't waste my time as a reader. So I said no, I wouldn't do it as a writer either. So that one ended when it ended, but it was hard to end it.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Is the Demon Slayer series still going?
It is. It is. I'm going to be starting the new one soon, and it's going to be called I Dream of Demon Slayers. A very serious title for a very serious book. And that book will come out next year.
Oh, good. So I'm glad to hear that.
Yes. Yes. I've seen the cover already, and it's really cute.
All right. Oh gosh. Well, I'll just go with the standards.
Sure.
Tell a little bit about your writing process, and just real brief, so that I can let you go.
About my process. Well, usually I get really excited about an idea. And with the Southern Ghost Hunter story, I wanted to do something about a small town girl without any kind of powers of her own. But that really limits you in a paranormal, because if the person has no powers, that's not quite where you want to be. But I love the idea of all these Southern small town secrets, and that the dead can tell tales. And so I made it to where she's cleaning at her house. She's getting ready to sell her ancestral home, and she finds this crappy old vase in the attic, and she'd stuffed it up there after this ex-boyfriend, who was no good anyways, gave it to her. And how you're in a relationship for a while with some people, and the gifts just keep getting worse and worse. And this was like gas station flowers in this, And so she thought, well, I'm going to rinse it out and try to, make it presentable for my house showing. So she rinses it out with a hose, but it turns out it's not a vase, it's an urn. And she dumped out the ashes of this long dead gangster out under her rose bushes and hosed them in good. And he's a little bit upset about it because she just grounded him on her property. And he's not really thrilled with her selling. So then the series becomes these two teaming up. He's got to help her get some money in order to keep her house. And so he knows this old stash should be really easy. Nothing ever is. And now all of a sudden she's this sweet little Southern girl who can see ghosts. And her real superpower is that she can relate to anybody. I mean, think kind of like Reese Witherspoon in Legally Blonde. She's your perky blonde best. She just can relate to all kinds of people, which works for her with all these ghosts who, are used to being thought of as these tortured souls who should be feared. And she's kind of teasing out like the love problems of jilted Josephine, who's hanging in her bedroom. But all girls have the same problems when it comes right down to it. So it's a very serious work of fiction. But for me, it just started out with that idea, and I thought, okay, what do I do with this, and how do I make it something that I want to write. Because if I'm excited about writing it, then other people are going to be excited about reading it.
I'm excited about reading it just from that description right there.
You received a free copy of it
I
today
did
at this
receive a
event.
free copy, and I'm
So,
super
yes.
excited about that.
Yes.
Because I wanted to get it, I just hadn't picked it up yet.
There you go.
And I've got 3 more to read afterwards.
Procrastination pays.
Sometimes.
Free book, you know?
It's the curse of the person who knows a lot of authors. So my to be read
Lynn,
list
right?
is very tall.
Lynn?
No, that's Angie.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed talking to you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
That's okay. Well, it's been a pleasure talking to you here too. You're invited, of course, as always, to come back to the Right Pack at any time.
Oh, thank you very much.
And just thank you for the smeller. We'll talk to you. I'm doing a terrible job of doing an outro. Heaven's sake! Oh my goodness.
We love books.
Yay!
Books are awesome.
Yay. Yes, thank you again.
No problem.
And good luck with the books coming out and the writing and finishing your novel when you get home, or maybe tomorrow.
Yes.
And I guess the end.
Thanks.
All right. Dang it. I was doing so well. Oh, God. Lynn Cahoon is the author of the New York Times and USA Today best-selling Tourist Trap Cozy Mystery Series, along with several sweet romance stories. Guidebook to Murder, book 1 of the series, won the Reader's Crown for mystery fiction in 2015. She is also the author of the soon-to-be-released Cat Latimer series, with the first book, A Story to Kill, releasing in mass-market paperback September 2016. She lives in a small town like the one she loves to write about with her husband and her 2 fur babies. All right, I'm here with Lynn Cahoon, one of our authors. Hello, Lynn. Thank you for joining us.
Hello. So nice to be here with you.
And tell us a bit about just how you got involved with the event and what you like to write and read.
Oh, how I got involved with the event. Susan, before I was a published author, I had breast cancer in 2007.
Oh my goodness.
And so I was doing chemo at the time, and I had a blog because everyone had a blog and 5 people were reading it. And I had mentioned that the nurse that I'd seen that day had told me about Susan's works because I was reading Cozy Mysteries when she was giving me a shot. And so Susan reached out, asked me if I'd had her latest book, sent a signed copy to me.
Aww.
And it was just such a nice touch for my day because basically days back then were a little crappy.
Yeah, I imagine.
So we've been friends ever since, and I just adore her.
So you're both an author at this event and also a breast cancer survivor.
Yes, I am. I love doing breast cancer events because it's something that we don't talk a lot about, one-on-one. So I like getting out there and talking with people about my situation and hopefully giving them hope that they can get through it too.
Oh, that's so important. It's been nice to speak to everyone here at this. I guess it's a meet and greet. I suppose.
It's a meet and greet.
I suppose it's a wine and read.
Wine and read.
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to. It's a Wit and Lit. I have no idea what the tagline for today is.
Wine, wit,
terrible.
and lit. Yeah.
Good job. Thank you. Wow. So does your breast cancer experience does that find its way into your writing?
Not yet. I think I've sold some essays about the experience and when I lost my hair and those type of things. But it's so touching still that I think I have a woman's fiction that I want to write, but I haven't started it because it's just too sensitive still.
I can understand that for sure. So you write romance, you write mystery as well?
I write romance and I write mystery. I'm mostly known for mystery at this point. Cozy Mysteries. I write the Tourist Trap series, which are set in central coastal California in a nice little tourist trap town. And the main protagonist, Jill, she actually owns a coffee shop and bookstore. Oh. So it's a mixture of things, and everyone there has a mixture of different jobs. So, of course, her boyfriend is the chief detective, and the mayor's a real jerk, and it's just people that I love hanging around. And she has an Aunt Jackie that comes in, starts helping her, and never goes away. So the books are really taking off, and people enjoy that sense of community that I've brought to the page. And for me, it's like visiting home because you have to figure out, who's doing what the gossip is, and all of that. And so it's been really fun to write. I have a new series, the Kat Latimer series, which is releasing the end of the month, and it's my first. Tourist Trap was digital first, and then it had paperback, which is a POD process. Kat Latimer is actually a mass market paperback, so I will be in Barnes and Nobles all over the United States.
Congratulations.
I know, I'm way excited. So we'll see how they sell, but early reviews are promising. People are really liking the story, really liking the characters. It's set that Kat Latimer is a former English professor who comes home because her ex-husband leaves her the house and the will. And it's a nice big Victorian. And so she opens a writer's retreat.
That's a great premise.
So you've got a little college town, and you've got this writer's retreat set in Colorado, just south of Denver. And it's just really fun to write.
Are these the California location, you picked Colorado as well? Are these places that you've been that you know?
It is places I've been that I know, but I kind of mix places too. I lived most of my life in Idaho. I'm in St. Louis now, but I lived most of my life in Idaho, and it was a situation where the California one happened because I went down to visit my sister, and I thought, I would love to do this. I'd love to move down here. I'd love to open up a coffee shop. I'd love to open up a bookstore. I never got the gumption to do it, but my character did.
That's what's the beautiful thing about being a writer, is you can live all those different lives.
That's right.
That's great. So you have a book coming out at the end of August.
I do. A Story to Kill.
And you've got how many books are in the Tourist Trap series?
Right now we have 8 out. Number 8 releases next May, and that's Hospitality and Homicide. Teacups and Carnage just released this summer, and I have the first book, Guidebook to Murder, what released in 2014. So
I love your titles.
They're so hard to come up with anymore. My editor and I were getting ready for number 9. This is what it was called for a while, was number 9. And it's just like, I don't know what to call it, because it's kind of got a wedding in it, but it's not the wedding between Jill and Greg. So you don't really want to go the wedding title, because they're not getting married, but there's a bachelor party, and I don't know. So I think we finally came up with a title, and you're hearing it first. It's Killer Party.
Killer Party, I like it.
Killer Party. So we'll see. We'll see if it sticks.
All right. Well, it's on record.
All right.
So you can use it as an excuse.
There
you don't have to think of it anymore. It's a good title. I like it.
It's a good title.
All right. Well, good luck with that for real, for sure.
Thank you.
And I'm impressed with so many, writing 2 series at once. Do you have what is your writing process? Do you have a writing, a studio in your house that you go to, a time every day that you write?
Right now I'm writing and working a full-time job, which I'm easing my way out of, hopefully in 2018.
Wow.
But I had an office, and my husband moved us back into an office together. So I've got this little corner of the office, and he has the rest of it. I use my headphones a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. But I'm a morning writer, so I'll get up at 5 and write before I go to work. And if I can get my words in during the day, then I don't have to write when I come home. If I'm on deadline, and all bets are off, basically then. This weekend I've been doing more promotional stuff, blogs and posts and all of that kind of fun stuff that you have to do as well as the actual creative writing. So.
And now podcast as well.
And now podcast as well, which I wasn't expecting.
Well,
but thank you for inviting me.
Well, thank you very much for giving me a little time out of this event. And thank you again for sharing your story and a bit of your process. And we'll hope to pick up those new books when they come out.
Check it out. My website's lynncahoon.com, so it's real easy. And it's Cahoon, so it's Cahoon.
Yes, no U in it.
No U in it, no L in it, except for Lynn.
Except for Lynn, that is an L. Absolutely. All right, well, thank you again, thank you so much.
I appreciate it.
Okay. All right, I am here with Denise Swanson. And Denise, tell us a bit about today and your work.
Well, Susan McBride and I have been friends for a long time, and she contacted me a while ago and asked if I would drive down from Illinois and be a part of this event. And it's such a worthwhile cause for the breast cancer survivors that I said sure, and hopped in my car, grabbed my husband, and here we are.
Fantastic. So from Illinois, where in Illinois do you hail?
I live about an hour north of Bloomington, Illinois.
Oh, wow. Oh, well, it's an active scene here. Oh, that's okay. This is why we have post-editing. All right, so do you have any history of breast cancer? Is just straight to your heart?
Certainly have. I don't think there's any woman who does not have some history with breast cancer.
Very true.
I have several aunts who are breast cancer survivors, and certainly almost everybody I know has had a scare at one time or another. So it's a cause that's near and dear, I think, to almost every woman's heart.
I definitely would agree with you there. All right, well, tell us a bit about your writing, your process, your books.
Okay. Well, I write in two genres. I write two cozy mystery series for Penguin Random House. I write the Scumble River Mysteries. The 19th is coming out September 6th, Murder of a Cranky Catnapper. And I also write the Devereaux's Dime Store Mysteries, which are set in Missouri. And the sixth one of that will be coming out in summer of 2017, and that is called Lions and Tigers and Murder, Oh My.
I love it. I can already tell the sense of humor in there.
Yeah, both are funny, romantic mystery series. I also write romance. My fifth romance will also come out in September, and it is called Sinfully Delicious. It is about a chef and a former fat girl.
That's wonderful. So 19 in one series, 6 in another, and 5 in another?
Yes.
Wow. How long have you been writing professionally?
I have been published since 2000, so 16 years.
I'm still super impressed.
Yeah.
That's more than one book a year.
It is. Well, previously, I was a school psychologist for 22 years. I worked and then I wrote on the side. About 10 years ago, I pseudo-retired, or as my principal said, jumped ship, and been writing full-time since then. So
wow,
yeah.
So do you have your writing office? Do you have your time every day that you set aside?
I do. I treat it like a profession, like a job. I have a dedicated office. See, IRS, it is really an office.
This is proof.
Yeah, there's nothing in it but me and the books and the typewriter, or the computer, I guess now.
The digital typewriter.
Yeah, the digital typewriter. And I write every day from around 8 in the morning to 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
My goodness.
With breaks.
I'm both impressed and jealous.
It is. I mean, considering I wrote 7 books while I was still working full time,
I don't know how you did that.
This is pure luxury.
This sounds great.
It is.
Oh, well, thank you so much
for
speaking with us, and make sure to check out the Right Pack if you'd like.
I would love to.
If you ever want to come down and actually speak with us and join us on our podcast, I'll be sending you an email.
Oh, great.
Or I'll get in touch with you somehow.
Okay.
And just to tell you when the show is airing. But
that would be
also,
awesome.
if you're ever in Missouri for a reason on a Sunday afternoon, you're welcome to come over and speak at the podcast.
Well, thank you.
Hey, well, thank you
very
very much. All right. I'm here with Megan Kelly, author. And Megan, tell us a little bit about the event, what brought you down here, and about your writing.
I have done several charity events for breast cancer survivors, I think, and research. I think this is a really important event, and it draws a lot of women, and women are readers, and I just love that because I'm a reader too.
Yeah.
So thanks for everybody listening out there.
Do you have any history with breast cancer?
My mother-in-law, not directly in my family, but yes, we have several aunts and friends, of course, and and there's a Horizon of Hope dinner that I do participate in. Fortunately, I've never had to talk at that as a caregiver or as a survivor. So, but several of the people here have, and that's how I got to know Susan and got invited to this. So this is really cool.
That's fantastic. And also, I'm sure the dinner is fantastic too.
Yes.
Horizons for Hope.
Yes, that's it is very supportive, and people tell their story, and you get to understand a lot more. And then hopefully they come back and say, and they have this lovely moment where they say, how many of you are 20-year survivor, 25-year survivor? And I'm going to start crying now because I have my mother-in-law's friend actually would stand up and say she was. So I think she's 27 years now.
Wow.
And so and then they go down and down and down, and people are standing, and the whole room is just so empowering that you can survive this and have a life. And I really love that they're taking people fishing. I mean, this is just such a wonderful take on, we're not looking for the cure, we're looking for getting back into your life. And so I was all in when I heard about it.
Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised to hear that it was all fishing related.
Yeah.
It's not something you typically think of. No. It's such a. Here's an anecdote. We aren't here to talk about me. Here's an anecdote. Fishing is usually considered such a masculine activity.
Right.
My younger sister loves fishing, and we joined a new church, and she saw that there was a fishing outreach program.
Yeah.
So she emailed them and says, I want in your fishing group. They're like, no, it's a men only, but you can join the women's only group. And she's like, forget you guys.
Wow.
That's just...
She should go out fish then.
She should go fish. Yeah. She should just show up here with all of her gear.
Yeah,
be like, I'm gonna catch a bigger fish than you guys do.
When my husband was just my boyfriend, and he liked to fish, and so he's like, I'll teach you how to fish. Cool. And so I did the worm and the whole bit, and I learned how to take them off, and then he would go around the lake casting, and I would sit there and get my book out.
That's how I
took
the fish.
Are you catching anything? I'm like, I forgot to put a worm back on because it kept bothering me. I was trying to get into this chapter. You have to go get the fish off the hook. So.
Well, the fishing and reading have lots in common. It's a nice, quiet, private, generally activity to ease your mind, take you away from your normal troubles.
Yes, and I think anything you can do to relax and have some me time is important for women and survivors. So I'm really proud of them for doing this.
So tell me a bit about what you read, what you write.
Oh gosh, if I started on what I read, we'd just say everything.
Everything.
I don't really read young adult or new adult or whatever those are, unless it's somebody I know or it's been recommended, and then I wind up loving it. But I just don't, I'm kind of far away from that teenage thing. And I read romance, of course, since that's what I write. Mystery. From cozy mystery where everything happens off stage, kind of the Jessica Fletcher Murder, She Wrote kind of stuff, all the way up to slasher killer, serial killers. I don't really do, I never do Kids in Danger. Freaks me out. But other than that, I'm always with a book or several. And sometimes I'm listening to one and reading a different one. So
at the same time?
No, but different formats like that.
You were about ready to blow my mind out the back of my head.
So you have to have one in the car that you're listening to, because how boring is driving? And then, you can also listen to it while you cook, or, if you clean your house. That kind of thing.
I always listen to it while I walk the dogs.
There you go.
Because you're passing the same houses every time you take the dogs out.
Treadmill, whatever you do.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
All right, and you write romance.
I write romance. I write contemporary romance. Right now I'm doing a series set in Montana. And so I've got The Cowboy, which is, I think it's America's knight in shining armor.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I've always been a sucker for a cowboy.
Yeah, he's got all of those great qualities and, things that you want to admire, and he's a little bit bad. And so that's kind of fun. My most recent book was The Wedding Rescue, and in a few months the twin sister comes out, and it is Runaway Bride.
I read about The Wedding Rescue on your website, and I'm sorry I haven't read it yet, but. Wow. I tell you, the premise was so interesting. Because I'm used to, we've spoken about romance and the romance trope and whatever on the radio show before, and so many romances tend to fall on the same sort of kind of predicaments to get into, and the same sort of meet cutes and things like that, and to meet the romantic interest at the altar pretending to be someone else is something I had not read about before.
Well, I was not the first, but I hope I did it well. The romance tropes, I think, are just because people love them. I love a meet cute. I mean, you give me a meet cute and I'm all in. It'll depend on the circumstances, but I'm usually like, he'll get hers or she'll get hers. The problem is right now I'm writing The Bride That Ran Away.
Yeah.
That's the Runaway Bride that comes out. I'm not writing it. It comes out in a few months, and so she's got to get her comeuppance because she did kind of a bad thing.
Yeah.
So that's kind of an interesting take on it.
Is it also a romance?
It is, absolutely. I like romance because I think there's enough bad stuff in the world. So if you're going to escape to yourself for a little while, why not escape into a happy world?
Yeah.
And there's a certain security in knowing that in my books, it's always going to end happily ever after, as most romances. And I don't think that that's a bad thing, and but then, I like to read a mystery and find out who done it, and mostly because I want them to be brought to justice. So again, another happy ending in a different format.
Yeah, I would agree with you very much. I know that some people have poo-pooed the parade at the end, but I love a parade.
I love the happy. I mean, if you want sad, go watch the news.
Oh yeah, truth.
No
matter what channel you're on nowadays.
I do not need to bring that into my head late at night before I'm going to go to bed. I'm trying to wind down from the day, from the reality of the day. And if I'm going to escape, why escape into bad stuff?
Yeah.
So. There's a certain area where you want to go into literary fiction and enjoy that for a while, but I will always come back to romance and mystery. So,
well, that's great. Thank you very much for sharing this time with us.
Appreciate it.
All right, and check out your book coming out on
October 1st.
October 1st. Thank you. All right, fantastic.
In the meantime, you can find out all about me at MeganKellyBooks.com.
Hey, fantastic. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And here we go. I'm here with Jody Feldman, author. Jody, that was terrible. Jody, tell me a bit about what brought you to the event today and what you like to read and write.
Probably what brought me to the event is what brought most people to the event is we are associated with or friends with Susan McBride, and she just dragged us all in and to do this. But you know what? It's one of these things where love to give back to the community, just love to be there and talk to people who like books. That's the most important thing. That's so much fun when people really love books and love reading. It's just a great community and love to do it. Now what am I supposed to talk about?
Yes, you segue into books. Tell me a bit about your books and what you like to write.
I write middle grade novels. Usually, right now, the books I have published are for, the main characters are 12-year-old boys. If you could see me right now, you would see I am not a 12-year-old boy. They all have, the one thing they have in common is they have puzzles involved. So that the readers, if you know of any kids who love to solve puzzles or work puzzles or like any kind of competition, the characters have to solve puzzles in order to get to advance in whatever it is they're trying to do. My main series is called the Gollywhopper Games, and it started out as a once-in-a-lifetime event where 25,000 kids enter in a stadium just brimming with craziness, and one kid ends up the victor. And that became, it actually got so popular they wanted me to make 2 more, so it was a 3-book series. So that's, and I'm working on something else with a few puzzles that have a little bit of mystery, and that's kind of where I like to write. And my readers go anywhere from like 2nd grade, and I've taught in high schools and middle schools and elementary schools.
Yeah, and your love of puzzles was all over your website.
Oh yeah,
like you got some math puzzles. I was getting flashbacks to the SAT test.
Well, yeah, I actually started puzzles with crossword puzzles. My mom worked a crossword puzzle every Saturday afternoon. She would either, like lay back on the couch, and I would sit next to her, and all of a sudden I started getting answers before she did, and it was a lot of fun. It kind of hooked me on puzzles. I also had an uncle who loved to tell riddles, give me riddles, and I would not ask for the answer until I figured it out myself or asked for hints in order to get it myself. And that's kind of the way I wrote my books, is so that the kids involved, the kids reading would get hints from the characters who were doing it and seeing the way they worked it out, and maybe they could solve it themselves.
So you, all of your puzzles, you come up with them on your own?
I come up with the puzzles on my own.
You have a very clever mind to come up with puzzles and riddles.
I have worked so many puzzles. It's like I've taken courses in writing and writing them, just having done them. So there's usually, whenever you're doing something, there's usually a basis for it, and I understand the basis for writing puzzles. And I just take it from there. I get an idea, and I kind of go crazy with it.
I need to grab you to do that.
Okay. Oh, that's just fine. Hi, Susan.
Hi. How are you?
We're recording podcast right now. So that's okay. Thank you, Jody.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll just cut it short real quick. That's okay.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So real quick, tell us what books are coming out, when, and where we can find them.
Golly Whopper Game Series and book The 7th Level. They should be in bookstores or online at places near you.
All places.
All places near
all
you.
Places,
yeah,
fantastic.
and if they don't have it, have them order it, because they will get that in within a day.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's okay. Thank you for sparing a moment.
Sure. Grab me later if you need more.
Absolutely.
A special thank you to Jennifer Stolzer for going to this event and obtaining these stories. Also, a special thanks to Wine, Wit, and Lit for Reelin and Healin for allowing us to come and interview the authors and the breast cancer survivors. Tune in next week for yet another interesting story in the writing industry, and understanding that the power of our words and what we can do as writers reaches far more than you can imagine. Have a great week writing. Have you ever written an audio play? Have you even considered writing one? Visit www.windingtrailsmedia.com, because currently we are looking for audio plays to produce. Again, that is www.windingtrailsmedia.com, and visit Calls for Scripts. And while you're at it, please sign up for the newsletter, and you will find that icon at the bottom of every page.
Did you know that Right Pack Radio has an international audience? How would you like to reach that audience in regards to your books, your book services, your author services, or more? Go to www.windingtrailsmedia.com and look under advertising for more information. If you don't have a script, that's not a problem. We will be happy to work with you. Once again, go to www.windingtrailsmedia.com for more information.
The new theme songs for Right Pack Radio were written and performed by Meredith Tate. All copyrights remain with her.